I'm Joseph Manirakiza. I'm a program manager for the Funguo Innovation Program.
Hi everyone, my name is Tabea Mbuguni and I work as Innovation Technical Assistant with the Funguo Innovation Program.
My name is Joseph Temba. I'm the Capital Service Manager at ANZA Entrepreneurs.
Great. And while we are here, we were all involved in the third call for funding for the Funguo Innovation Program, which we did in partnership with CRDB Bank Foundation. And we worked with ANZA. So this was our third call after 2 successful first and second round. And we've definitely learned quite a number of lessons. We got about 411 applicants. That went down to 286 that were eligible, and the investment committee approved 18 for funding, all right? So what we would like to do in this conversation is basically to kind of understand what we saw, what we learned, and how we can actually help future applicants, but also give also feedback to the applicant the third round. So let's probably focus on what we saw in terms of like from 411 to 18. What did you see as technical people who were involved into the application process as the common mistakes that you saw in the applications, and how can we help future applicants actually deal with that? So it's really what we're going to focus on, that we can be able to help more people to be successful.
Sure. I think the number one mistake that people make is not preparing in advance, doing everything last minute. No time for introspection, to go through your business, to reflect on what makes your business stand out. For example, I think the most important thing one should do before they submit the application is to be the first critic of their own business. That way it helps you to come up with a compelling story, and you'll be also in a position to better respond to the application questions. For example, the very first question that comes up in the application process is on the problem that you're trying to address. But if you can't really present your problem in a manner that shows problem-solution fit, you are bound to fail, because that's the first part that the reviewer would read. So you need to take time to think through your business, your solution, your problem. And also it has to be linked to the target audience that you're trying to address, so that it shows that you are really addressing a critical problem, and there are people out there that are willing to pay for the solution that you're also proposing. I don't know if...
Yeah, of course. And to add on that also, many applicants fail to support their, for example, they're explaining their problem. They fail to support their problem with data. So it's very important for the applicant to support their problem with data, relevant data from the industry of which they are performing.
I totally agree with you, because I think, as you put it, a lack of preparation is actually the main killer for most applicants we have been seeing. And that's not only for the third funding call for funding, because we actually saw the same first call for funding, the second one. So people, I think they leave it to the last minute, which is not really enough to submit a compelling application. Does that mean that that's the reason why we are seeing most of them using AI tool to write the application, for instance? Is it what you saw?
Yes, definitely. I think because you do not have time to write. So what you do, you put a prompt in AI, and if you say, if you give a prompt to AI, there will be another 100 people giving the same prompt to AI. So after the reviewer reads the first, 5 applications, they can already spot a pattern, and it becomes less and less interesting to read. And you can clearly see that this is a common pattern. There's no unique story to the responses, and that is really going to play against you.
Yeah, definitely. Because, if it's AI, we know it's probably not the real story on the ground. Yeah. Joseph, I don't know, is it the same thing you saw?
Yeah, yes, of course. Most of them, for example, if you do the application the last time, they use the AI to add the information. But it is very important, if they are using the AI, to actually incorporate the human element, to ensure they are editing their document perfect, to ensure that they incorporate, they are checking the grammar, they are checking the flow, to ensure that it communicates the impact to the community.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it's you or Joseph touched on the issue of backing up the story with data, not just from the real industry, but also from the actual business. So from the third funding call, from the application we saw, how common was that problem? Like, is it something that was so common in most of applications that people do not provide like the real information about their business, they're just talking, or what did you see as a common mistake?
Yeah, I would say that was one of the major problems we observed. For example, there is this question that asked about the prospects of their businesses.
Yes.
Most of the responses in that part were very general. The prospects are good, but what data do you have to back up that claim? Have you done enough research to ascertain the market trends? Do you know what the growth rate of the market you're operating in is? So the responses to that part were really general. There was no any data to back up those claims. You cannot just say that the business is going out of the blues and expect people to buy it.
Yeah.
You have to check what's happening out there. Are there any maybe regulatory frameworks that could play against you or for you? But again, you need to also show that you've done even validation with the users or the potential buyers of your solution or your product, so that when you say that the market is growing, it also shows that you understand the people that you are targeting. There's this joke that says you do not ask your mom how good your business is, because they will definitely really good. Yeah. So again, who are you talking to? What are your sources? Yeah, that is really important, and you should have that information to back up your responses when you're asked.
Yeah, I think still coming back to the same thing as like prepare, talk about your business, own it. Because I mean, you actually said something about the way we do structure the application. It's like we ask you questions about your business, so you become your best critical business in actually telling us the information about it. So when it comes out that way, I think it's more authentic. And the reviewers actually can relate to it rather than just, telling it more theoretically. Yeah? Yeah. Now, one more thing. I think that was more still on preparation, backing up the information with the data, owning your business and critiquing yourself. What would you say was another key issue for most of those who didn't make it?
Okay, another issue is before applying for the funding, it is very important for an applicant to read very carefully the instruction. What the funder wants, what the funder expects, the impact which your application will create to the community. It is very important before starting applying for funding to read very carefully the instruction, to ensure that you comply with all the necessary requirements required by the funders.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also consistency is important. Consistency of the information that you're providing. For example, let's say you are asked if you've raised any funding from the inception of your business, and you say, yes, I've raised. And some, for example, were saying that they have raised from the mainstream financial institutions like commercial banks. And then you go to the financial statements.
There's no such indication.
There's no any indication of interest expense. And you say that you've raised loan from a commercial bank and you are already repaying or you've already repaid. But in your recent financials, there is no any indication of interest expense. So that already is a red flag. And for the reviewer, the question would be, okay, if there is inconsistency here, what else are they lying about?
What they're not telling us. Yeah. I think we've seen that quite often in most applications. Yeah, Joseph, you're smiling. I think he's seen that quite often as well, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I think that's very key. I think not paying attention to details, especially when it's come to business, because I think what applicants need to know, this is not an exam where you are writing it to score credit. It's basically writing about your business and you're actually looking for funding for that business, right? So you're not responding to your question in an exam question. Yeah, something that actually to forget. Now, when it comes to, because sometimes they do forget that the information you're providing is actually going to be verified during the process. So I think there was some key observation during the field visit as well. If you can actually take the applicant through, like those who are watching this, I think that would be very important, right?
Yeah, from the field perspective, especially when we are conducting the due diligence process, actually many applicants were not they were not expecting us to verify the information, verify their physical location, to verify their financials, to verify their, for example, number of employees, to see the contract. Okay, so they were not expecting. So most of them, they were like, they were shocking. They were not expecting about this idea. And then some of them, they ran away. We go invest in this.
So there are actually some who didn't show up.
Yeah, they didn't show up. So they were not expecting that we will verify this kind of information. So it is very important for the next cohort to ensure that if you are writing something in your application, if you include something, to ensure that this information which I'm writing in this application, it is valid, it's verifiable, it will be verified.
Yeah. I think what the key issue here would be like, okay, do not provide something which doesn't exist. If you don't have it, it's fine. We do understand. It's early stage businesses. You don't have to have everything. So don't make up stories. Yeah, I think it's really important. It gives some kind of impression. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also it's important not to misrepresent the features of your solution. For example, if you say that you have, a wheelbarrow that can take people to the moon, when people come to validate that, they would want
to take to the moon.
Yes, they would want to get that wheelbarrow. Yeah, so there's sometimes what we've noticed is that people would describe their solutions and put features that they're still working on or still experimenting. And mind you, when we do the reviews, there are a lot of other applicants. So when we select yours, it's because we believe that your solution has some unique features that others do not have. But when we come now to the due diligence phase, and you tell us, oh, we are still building this feature, it means you have not even
said it.
Yeah, you've not even tested the solution with the market. Then we disqualified some people because they didn't have that feature, and we took you through, but again, the feature is not even functional, and that is misrepresentation.
Yeah, and misrepresentation is quite like it doesn't matter how good your business is. If you are misrepresented, we do not know whether you're going to be truthful in the future, right? Yeah. No, I mean, that's actually very interesting that people actually run away from the interview team. Yeah. I think this is quite a lesson for also other partners who actually support startups and probably for actually startups themselves. It's very important that, when you say something, own it, and we do not expect to have everything perfect because you are still building your business. And we are in this business to be able to support you to build your business. So if it's something which is potential, you haven't done it, at least own up to it. I think we have funded quite a number of them who didn't even have like well-established offices. And with the funding, they actually established offices. So don't say you have an office if you don't. Don't stage it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that could come out of this, yeah?
Yeah, and another thing I think is that when you say, for example, you have, let's say, a payroll solution for, corporates, and one of the feature you've presented is, let's say, AI, analytical function. And you've presented that as your unique selling point. But then, in real sense, that feature is still, being developed. That I would equate that to lying, because that is what makes you stand out.
Exactly.
But again, when we come to the actual verification of the solution, that feature is not there. There are no any analytics that have been, performed by your tool or your application.
You've just mentioned AI, and like, is it just me, or I feel like AI is being, I don't know if you misused, or what do you call it? overrated too much, because so many applications kind of talk about, yeah, we are using this AI-based solution, AI-based this and that. And like, do people feel like when you include AI in your application, it already triggers their funder that, yeah, this is something we have to go after? Because I think that's coming out so much in applications.
Yeah, because most of the application, for example, even when they want to integrate something in their businesses, most of them now they're using integrating AI. So it's just
becoming fashionable, right?
It's fashionable, yeah. So let's use it as very positive. It's a very good thing, and let's incorporate it into our business very positive without exaggerating too much. Yeah.
Don't talk about it if you're not planning to use it, or if it's not there, or if it's not even necessary.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
And also another challenge is some of the businesses, they just use other people to help them prepare the application.
Right, the proposal.
That's a very big problem with.
So there is little ownership.
Yeah, for example, when we verify, we visit the business and verify, because they need to present this information to us. So in the time of the presentation, we found that the business owner does not know anything about what was in the application. So it's very important next time in the next cohort to ensure that if another person helped you write an application, ensure that you engage in that
process.
Engage in that process. Ensure you understand everything in terms of process, in terms of what was written, data back driven that in that application, to ensure that in terms of presentation you have all the information and you have all the information.
Yeah,
sure.
And I don't think, by saying this, we do not intend to discourage using consultants, because they are also very important in helping business raise funding. But yes, it's just about how to use them. Don't let's say, ask a consultant just to write your proposal and you know nothing about it. You should be engaged, like by giving them the information to present out there. So they do not just say things they feel like are in the business way they are not. So I think that's very important to actually raise out there.
Yeah, and I think another thing related to the due diligence is also, again, preparation, because we do communicate these timelines way in advance. So once you decide to apply for Funguo funding, take note of the timelines. We do not want to hop in a plane and then only to land and find out that you're not available for due diligence. So that could also communicate, could send different messaging. So it's important that you take note of the timelines and you're ready for the review team.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's very important, because we all believe that when you decide to apply for funding, your business actually needs it, right? So if your business needs that kind of funding, then you have to be available for all the processes. Of course, there's an issue of communication and everything. I mean, if it's not going to be possible, maybe you are on business trip, at least say it in advance, rather than, we come all the way and then there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, great. I think that in terms of looking at what were the common mistakes, we also kind of touched on what needs to be done to address those, and what actually could make some of the applicants become more successful in the future. Yeah. So I don't know if, to me that was quite revealing. I don't know if there's anything that, you think you should be added on that.
From my end, I think we have incorporated all the pitfalls. So next time, I advise the applicants to concentrate on those things so that they can make the application to be
stand out. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Right. Thank you. That was quite a good conversation, I guess.